I don't know. Angel Reese, she might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey.
Angel Reese didn't just get injured, she vanished. The Chicago Sky's official story is a back injury, but the evidence points to something far more explosive. She quit when a star player suddenly refuses to travel with her team, ghosting them on crucial road games. It's no longer about recovery, it's an act of defiance. This wasn't a surprise to everyone, though. For those paying attention, it was the predictable climax to a story of fame, ego, and a pattern of behavior that proves Angel Reese plays by her own rules, and the most shocking part is, this has happened before.
The world wants to know. The whole world is wondering, where in the world is Batman? I'm joking. I want to know, as Chicago Sky fans, women's basketball, WNBA, Angel Reese fans, where in the world?
It all started with a simple announcement from the Chicago Sky. Angel Reese would be sidelined with a back injury. On the surface, it was routine, but almost immediately, things didn't add up. Insiders revealed she wasn't just missing games, she was refusing to travel with the team. While her teammates boarded planes for crucial road games, Reese was nowhere to be seen. In the world of professional sports, this is a cardinal sin. Injured leaders are expected to be on the bench, supporting their squad, being a presence. Her absence felt less like recovery and more like a statement. It was a silent protest that screamed louder than any press conference, transforming a simple injury into a full-blown mystery and feeding the speculation that she hadn't just been sidelined, she had quit.
I find it very symbolic, very almost funny, but not funny. Not funny, haha, but funny, sad. That out of all the bodily injuries that Angel Reese, a player, could experience, she's experiencing a back injury. Her back is literally hurting. And is it because that she is tired of carrying the weight of the Chicago Sky on her back, being that floor general and that floor leader? Did the Chicago Sky break Angel Reese's back?
To understand why fans and critics immediately suspected the worst, you have to understand that Angel Reese didn't enter the WNBA as just another rookie. She arrived as a cultural phenomenon, a walking, talking brand known as the Bayou Barbie. With millions in NIL deals from college, a social media empire that rivaled pop stars, and a national championship ring, she was more celebrity than athlete. She was promised the spotlight, the headlines, and the adoration. What she got was the grim reality of a struggling Chicago Sky team, the grueling travel, the losses piling up, the thankless defensive drills. It was a world away from the glamorous photo shoots and championship parades. This was the fundamental conflict of her career. Her brand was built for the winner's circle, but her job required her to grind in the mud, and it quickly became clear that one of those things had to give.
Listen. Everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering, what is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you have to have some level of self-awareness here. Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was done.
Her entire public image was forged in the fires of controversy. During the 2023 NCAA Championship, her "You Can't See Me" taunt directed at Caitlin Clark became the shot heard round the sports world. In that moment, she wasn't just a player, she was a character. She masterfully embraced the role of the villain, the confident, brash competitor who refused to apologize for her greatness. It was a brilliant move that skyrocketed her fame and made her a hero to millions who felt overlooked. She proved that drama sells, and she was the best salesperson in the game. But that villain persona was built on the foundation of winning. At LSU, she was surrounded by elite talent, a powerhouse built to dominate. Playing the heel is easy when you're hoisting the trophy. It's a completely different story when you're on a team getting blown out on a Tuesday night in Connecticut.
Yeah, she did wear the villain role on her sleeve, no doubt about that. She didn't do a lot to help herself when she was winning the NCAA championship last year against Iowa, and she was taunting Caitlin Clark. But did we forget that Caitlin Clark had been doing the same thing to numerous opponents throughout that season last year? That it wasn't until she was humbled in that national championship game against LSU that she dialed it back a little bit? You can't want to be the villain. You can't pride yourself in being the villain, and then you lose, and all of a sudden you succumb to those emotions. That is true to some degree. But usually when you lose and you have an opportunity to sit back and reflect, there's a mountain of emotions that get heaped on your shoulders, and it's hard to hold it in. Not to mention when teammates are coming to your defense because they realize how the insults against you have been so personal.
Taking this something that isn't. She's got a back injury. Like, I'm not going to be out here saying that Angel Reese needs to go out and play through a damn back injury. I just don't think is the case, especially when your team is as bad as it is. Like, absolutely just stinking it up constantly. Like the Chicago Sky stink.
The harsh reality of the WNBA hit hard. The Chicago Sky were not LSU. Wins were scarce, and every game was a dogfight. Suddenly, the flashy persona began to crack under the weight of losing. The on-court swagger that looked like confidence during a championship run now looked like poor sportsmanship in a loss. Flagrant fouls and heated exchanges were no longer just part of the show. They were signs of frustration. The fun of being the villain was gone, replaced by the exhausting day-in, day-out grind of professional basketball. For a player who thrived in the spotlight of success, the darkness of a losing season was an unfamiliar and unwelcome place. And as the pressure mounted, a familiar pattern began to emerge, one that had been seen before and had nothing to do with a back injury.
You threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in a row.
This vanishing act wasn't a new move. It was a signature play. Before her mysterious exit from the Sky, there was the Unrivaled League incident, a women's basketball league where Reese was a star attraction. Reports surfaced that she quit mid-season, failing to even show up for the championship game, leaving her teammates hanging. Go back further, and you see her transfer from the University of Maryland to LSU. While transfers are common, hers was a calculated leap from a very good team to a super team, a ready-made championship contender. A pattern was clear. Angel Reese didn't seem interested in building a house. She wanted to move into a mansion that was already finished. She sought out perfect situations where her talent could shine without the messy, difficult work of laying the foundation. Chicago was anything but perfect, and it seems her patience for construction work had run out.
Listen, Angel Reese has thrown in the towel. She refuses to travel with the team. Once again, the team has a road game. We already saw she refused to travel with the team to Indiana versus the Fever. Now they head to Connecticut to take on the worst team in the league. Yes, they finally went against a team that is worse than them. The Connecticut Sun.
Her journey stands in stark, unavoidable contrast to her biggest rival, Caitlin Clark. Clark was drafted by the Indiana Fever, a team at the bottom of the league, and she knew she was signing up for a long and difficult rebuild. Yet, she embraced it. She played through injuries, took punishing hits every game, and stood before the media after every loss to take responsibility. She was building a culture from scratch, earning the respect of her teammates and the league through sheer resilience. While Reese was allegedly ghosting her team on road trips, Clark was on the bench cheering on her squad even when she couldn't play. The comparison became impossible to ignore. One star was running from the grind, while the other was running headfirst into it. It exposed a fundamental difference in philosophy. One player was building a legacy, while the other was protecting a brand.
Nobody knew what had happened on the day. Nothing had happened. Then somebody got into Angel Reese's ear to say that this happened, and she then doubled and tripled down, saying that something happened even though she didn't hear it herself. And then she's there reposting tweets or reposting TikToks saying that Gamebridge is dangerous for her and it's a danger if she goes to Gamebridge and all of this crap. Like, so Angel has done all.
While Angel Reese was silent to the official media, her social media accounts were anything but. This is where the modern athlete's playbook was on full display. Instead of facing questions, she curated a narrative. Cryptic posts about protecting her peace and knowing her worth appeared. She liked tweets from fans speculating about conspiracies against her and reposted content that painted her as a victim. It was a masterful use of the digital smokescreen. By controlling the conversation online, she could frame her absence not as a failure of commitment, but as an act of self-care and empowerment. It's a strategy designed to bypass accountability, where likes and retweets become a shield against tough questions. The days of athletes having to face the music in a press conference are over. Now they can simply tweet their own version of reality.
Some speculation going on saying, like, of course, because she has injured her back, unfortunately, at the tender age of 23, might I add, that she is still going through the rehabilitation process. But people are so anxious to see just when exactly will Angel Reese return in this current 2025 season. Because again, guys, today is what, August 14th. The freaking playoffs is just some weeks away, and we all know, again, we got to have that come to Jesus moment. If you haven't had it yet, come here, come to me. We can have it together. Listen, look at me in my eyes and see that I ain't lying. We're not going into the playoffs, guys. I'm sorry.
A star player's mysterious absence doesn't just create headlines, it creates a black hole in the locker room. Suddenly, her teammates were left to answer for her. They were the ones facing reporters, forced to deflect questions about their missing leader. This is how trust erodes. How can you go to battle with someone you can't count on to even be in the building? The drama became a constant distraction, pulling focus away from game plans and onto damage control. A team that was already struggling to find its identity was now fractured by speculation and uncertainty. The unspoken truth in that locker room was that they had been abandoned. Their supposed cornerstone had crumbled, leaving them to hold up the weight of a failing season all on their own.
We did a show early in the week about Jason Whitlock, talking about she quit on the Chicago Sky. She gave up on the WNBA. She really don't want to play basketball. And this is all surrounding around her back injury.
Let's be clear, the Chicago Sky knew exactly who they were drafting. They saw the Bayou Barbie brand, the massive social media following, and the headline-grabbing personality, and they saw dollar signs. They made a high-stakes gamble, betting that her star power would sell tickets and jerseys, and that the on-court commitment would eventually follow. They chose hype over heart, brand over builder, and for a while, it worked. The arena was buzzing, and her jersey was a bestseller. But now, that gamble has backfired spectacularly. They are left with a PR nightmare, a divided locker room, and a star player who is MIA. It's a cautionary tale for the entire league. Drafting a social media sensation might fill seats in the short term, but if that player isn't willing to bleed for the team, you haven't built a franchise. You've just bought a billboard.
Oh, the grace from the basketball gods and goddesses that we cannot beat the Connecticut Sun. Do you know the Connecticut Sun is ranked number 13 in the WNBA league? There's 13 teams. They're ranked dead last. Whereas we, the Chicago Sky, we're ranked number 11. Now, granted, yes, this happened at their court today, okay? It was the Connecticut Sun's home game. That's no excuse. And
here's the most twisted part of this entire saga for Angel Reese's brand. The drama might actually be a good thing. In the modern media landscape, outrage is currency. She gets more headlines for not playing than half the league gets for dropping 30 points. Every debate, every speculative video, every angry tweet just makes her name bigger and her brand more visible. Endorsement partners in today's world often care less about your free throw percentage and more about your cultural relevance. And right now, no one is more relevant. This behavior is a direct threat to the old school idea that you earn your fame through hard work and loyalty. Angel Reese is proving you can earn it through controversy, and that might be the most dangerous precedent of all.
Tyler Marsh gives a major update surrounding around Angel Reese's back injury, and you guys are not going to believe what he said.
This isn't just a Chicago Sky problem, this is a full-blown crisis for the WNBA. The league is in the middle of a historic explosion in popularity, fueled almost entirely by the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese rivalry. It's their golden goose. But now one half of their star attraction has seemingly walked off the job. This tarnishes the product. The league needs its heroes and villains battling on the court, not posting cryptic messages from home. It puts them in an impossible position. If they punish one of their biggest stars, they risk alienating her massive fan base. But if they do nothing, they send a message that commitment is optional and star players are above the rules. For a league fighting for legitimacy and respect, the idea that a star can just quit on her team is a devastating blow to its integrity.
Is Angel Reese. Okay, of course she was missing in last night's game where we ultimately, the Chicago Sky, we got defeated by the Connecticut Sun, the worst ranked team in the league currently. They're the worst ranked team. And on top of that, we see 3 ejections. And on top of those 3 ejections made from the game, we see Angel Reese on Twitter cackling and kikiing and giggling, talking about if I was there on the court and God just be knowing, you know, not to put me in certain situations. I'm like, okay, but girl, sister girl, Miss Thing, where is you at?
So, where does this leave the Bayou Barbie? Her talent is undeniable. On her best day, she is a dominant force in the paint, a walking double-double with the potential to be an all-time great, but potential has an expiration date. The saga in Chicago has put her entire career at a crossroads. Will she be remembered as a transcendent athlete who changed the game, or as a cautionary tale of a star who flew too close to the sun, blinded by the spotlight of her own fame? The teams willing to take a chance on her are dwindling, as no front office wants to invest millions in a cornerstone who might crumble under pressure. Her next move will be the most critical of her life, determining whether her highlight reel will be filled with championships or with disappearing acts.
Trash. She refused to travel with the team to Connecticut, obviously showing a complete lack of leadership. Man. Caitlin Clark's been hurt. She traveling with the team, supporting on the bench. You're supposed to be there with your troops. You're supposed to be there with your troops, cheering them on. Feet, you know what I'm saying? Giving them that energy from the bench, from the sideline, whatever. She not even traveling with the team, y'all.
Ultimately, the controversy surrounding Angel Reese is about more than just one player. It's a battle for the soul of modern sports. Is an athlete's primary role to win games for their team, or to build a powerful personal brand that transcends the court? Reese is the ultimate test case. Some will call her a quitter, someone who couldn't handle adversity. Others will see her as a savvy entrepreneur, smartly protecting her own interests in a ruthless business. The shocking truth is that both might be right, but as she sits on the sidelines, the game goes on without her, and the question that will define her legacy remains: is Angel Reese willing to fight through the pain for a chance at greatness, or will she forever choose to walk away the moment the spotlight isn't shining brightly enough?